you. Treat you right, princess. Right. Ah, it's still there. Just finger it. Fuck, I've made it worse. Hold on. Fucking high maintenance bitch. I feel so much better now. Where's my phone? Where's my vape? I'm freaking out. Put it there. Can you see it? Welcome to Little Town Big Queeries. This is another solo episode, so I have to apologise in advance. I do have a struggle of doing these solo episodes. They're very hard to do when they're just myself, so I do tend to leave it last minute. The reason I keep pushing these projects back, especially the solo ones, is because it's just the lack of confidence and probably like self-hatred of like seeing myself on camera and solely just myself. I don't think I can carry a topic all by myself, and it kind of puts me in the mindset I don't belong in this medium or platform at all. It's something I just need to get practice in and get more experience in and just get the confidence myself. So yeah, I just procrastinate like mad. Kind of ties into the topic that I want to talk about today, and it is imposter syndrome.
Hey, you know who lives in this house? A great big phony!
Now, the term imposter syndrome has been thrown about for years. I've probably like really known about it since I was like maybe a teenager. But it's very common. It's something that I think 82% of people worldwide experience. So it's a very common thing, but I don't think a lot of people know how common it is. So imposter syndrome or the imposter phenomenon is the experience of feeling just low confidence, just feeling that like you don't belong in a space. It's like you're being a fraud, you're untalented, you shouldn't be here, you got lucky being in this position. And it's definitely something that it's been like plaguing my head for years, definitely. Now, where did the term imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon come from? Now, I did a little research and it turns out the imposter syndrome is a phenomenon researched by two women. It was first coined in 1978 by Pauline, Clance and Suzanne Imes, after discovering that high-achieving female students of Georgia State University were experiencing an imposter syndrome pattern, something that Clance also experienced. Therefore, she wanted to conduct research as to why and how this external phenomenon affected many others. This is because this was during a time when women were slowly getting equal rights for work as men are fortunate to have. Gender differences in the attribution process, it was considered that women consistently have lower expectancies than men of their ability to perform successfully on a wide variety of tasks. Clance later regretted narrowing her research only to about 95 female students. Due to this, it was first perceived and misleading as if it only affected women, which led to stereotypes of being a women's confidence issue. Since many professions, especially psychology and medicine, was led by men, prior to the imposter syndrome, male doctors believed people just experienced low self-esteem. The research unintentionally reinforced the idea that women were uniquely lacking confidence. However, with continuous research and reality, the phenomenon is much more universal and affects anyone regardless of the gender. So psychologically wise, where would imposter syndrome come from? And from the research, I was diving straight into childhood, because you do know that whatever fucks you up in your adulthood stems from your childhood. Psychoanalyst Heinz Kohut said in order to develop a secure sense of identity and stable self-esteem, children need to have an environment in which their feelings and strivings are responded to and respected. When validation of the self is lacking, as appears to be the case in families of those who develop imposter feelings, the child may compensate by trying to live up to the idealized image that will win the affirmation from others that is necessary for self-esteem. Defensive strategies may be developed to protect oneself from rapid, sudden loss of self-esteem, with attendant feelings of humiliation and shame that can occur when one is criticized or in some other way fails to live up to the idealized image. Intelligence is viewed as a stable trait and mistakes are believed to indicate personal failure and inadequacy. It's a hard word to say. Suggests potentially useful cognitive interventions. If individuals have an entity view of intelligence, the therapist might focus attention to it. Bringing up questions about origins and consequences of this belief, clients may discover that parents or teachers helped instill the belief by treating intelligence as a set quality that one must always demonstrate. So through my experience, through childhood, it was a bit weird. I was definitely like an introvert. I was definitely to myself, and I definitely just dove into films and TV shows. I think that's where I got like all the passion from. So when it came to like my parents or my family never really put me down of like skills or anything. And I didn't really have any mad projects other than like photography, and my like family were so like pushing towards the arts. I tried to do like physical activities. I'm not a physical girl at all. So like artsy creative stuff, that's they really like pushed me towards that. They knew I was not good at maths or any of that actual educational stuff. But when I was about 16, I think that's when I went to college, and that's when I really got into like, you know, actually not just watching films, but the love of wanting to make films. And I was living alone my entire 8 years at college. So when I was making projects, I never really got to show my like family. They weren't around to show them. So it's not like they were like not giving me the support. They didn't know to give me support. It wasn't until my exhibition, my end of year exhibition, they came to that and the seen like what I could do, what I'm capable of doing. But it wasn't until I started the podcast that's when I was like, right, I actually want to do something with these talents, with these skills, with the degrees. I want to do something with them. So ever since I started the podcast, the whole family have like been like, fuck yeah, go for it. So from childhood up until like my adulthood, I don't think I line up to the fact that it's parents. I want to push my blame to the teachers. Ever since I was at school, I've never felt so stupid. See, when I went into secondary school, I started off in the Isle of Man, and I started off in all the lower sets, which is like typical. And if you don't know, well, I don't know if like each country is different, but like in the Isle of Man, it was like set one to set four. If you're in set one, you're super duper smart. If you're in set two, you're like kind of smart, but like not the greatest. Set three, you're like average Joe, like I don't know, you're somewhere in the middle. And then set four, it's where all the creative kids went. That's where I was. Some would say it's where those stupid kids went, but fucking fighting in that one. Yeah, I started off in the lowest sets, and I was in Ballercommune for about 3 years, and I slowly worked my way up. Like I think I moved it myself up to set two. Don't know how the fuck I done that. It was definitely imposter syndrome back then. I definitely think there was a flaw in the system, but I was really proud of myself. And it wasn't until I moved back home at the age of 14, which by the way, the worst fucking age to move. I was picking out my GCSEs in my new school, and like everything was either filled up, you know, like too many students were taking it, or there was classes where not enough students wanted to take it, so they didn't run it. Some of the GCSEs they just like made me take, so I didn't have a choice, but they made me do childcare. So that's a GCSE. Do not call me for a babysitting job. I was too dumb to do science. They didn't let me do science. I was put in a gardening class, which I fucking love, by the way. I don't know why I'm complaining about it, because I was just catching frogs and eating chilies all day. It was nothing to complain about at all. I think gardening's so therapeutic. But the fact that we were just like, you know, playing with donkey shit, and then like there was other smart kids that were like making, I don't know, potions. What the fuck are you doing, science? I wouldn't know. I remember for an actual lesson, we painted rocks. And we sold those rocks at the Christmas market for £1 a pop. We fucking scammed the town. Done my GCSEs, and I absolutely fucked it up because it was just the move, the transition back over home. Didn't know anyone. I was just making friends again, straight into exams. So it was just, I didn't want to be there. I felt sick every fucking day. And yeah, I just absolutely fumbled my GCSEs. I got maybe two and a half, and like one of them is like the childcare. The other one is bench joinery and metal sheetwork. And I got a half GCSE in ICT, which is like, how the fuck does that even happen? Only happens to me. But like, it was a short course. I think I got a B. I was really proud of it too. But they're like, it doesn't count. It's a short course, and yeah, I think GCSEs. I think exams in general should not be a thing. I've never felt more stressed out, and it's stuff that you already know, but like it's the pressure of like, you know, you're being tested. You're gonna fuck it up. I was definitely an exam crier. Like I couldn't even write in the page because it was damp with my tears. But yeah, fucked up my GCSEs. and I didn't even know what to do next because what school would take me for A levels with 2.5 GCSEs. So my next thought was Southwest College. Need to go to Southwest College, need to ask them if there's any photography courses and get myself in there. And it was just like film studies, creative media. But I fell in love that day and signed up for creative media. And yeah, the rest is history. I fucking loved it. It made me feel less stupid. I was with my people. Like college is really handy for that stuff, but like you got to focus on one thing. So it's like films, or if you're into games, you can study games. Or if you're in, I don't know actually if they do have like a music course there. I think they're mainly doing music courses in OMA. Things could have changed. A lot has changed because when I first was in the media class, there was only three girls, like including me. And the year before, I think there was only one girl. And it's like all girls now. It's crazy. Like it's Madhouse just swapped. It used to be all boys, but now all the girls are fucking taking over. So yeah, I do feel like a lot of like imposter syndrome, especially in my own experience, came from school. I just came from like when it came to maths, I could not do maths to save my life. English, like I was really into creative writing, but like I really liked it. I just wasn't good at it. I really liked history. I could not remember dates. Science, I don't remember much in science because they didn't let me do it.
Unzip me.
Um, yeah. What else do you study in school? I can't remember.
I don't like it. I don't like to think about it.
I do feel like the school, like education system, is so like it's so boxed in. Like there's so many people that have like such unique talents that you'd never see studied in a school, but like you have to be good at English, maths, science to be worthy of a job in the future. First of all, I think they need to introduce like getting rid of fucking exams because they do no one a world of good. Like coursework is the way to go. Like I think that is the best and peaceful way. And it's so nice to sit down and go through your coursework. Like I've kept my essays that from college that like I've no reason to keep, but like I'm proud of it. Like I've kept these wee film essays. You can't do that with the exam, but you probably can. But like it's less meaningful, and I can't be the only one that like went through school, went through certain subjects, being like, Jesus Christ, I'm so dumb. How am I gonna get a job in the future? How am I gonna excel? And it wasn't until I got to Southwest College and I was like, wow, there's more to life than Pythagoras theorem. There's more to life than fucking making potions or painting rocks. Like, I don't know. There's more to life than that. And I thank the Southwest College for that. Some people are definitely wired creatively, musically, in ways the school can never teach you. So if you're in school right now and you think, I am just like going downhill with like grades or whatever, there has to be alternatives. Like, look for like community colleges, reach out to youth clubs, ask them if there's any courses that you can jump into. Like, I randomly seen a course for blacksmithing. I almost did it. For a course for welding, I almost did it because that's such a unique little niche job thing to do. So again, with imposter syndrome, it affects everyone. I put up a bunch of wee polls on Instagram just to get everyone else's opinion. Just I don't know, because maybe I was maybe thinking, oh, everyone thinks the same as me, but well, maybe they don't. It's nice to have like actual answers from people, and I want to thank everyone that made the effort of making a vote. So for my first poll, I wrote, studies show that over 80% of people experience imposter syndrome. Do you? And 75% said yes, 6% said no, and 19% said sometimes. So that is like a big fucking difference. That number is a lot higher than I thought. Because when I'm doing like photography or films, I do like not reach out, but I do like look at for inspiration other people, other creatives. I do think that they're like way ahead of me and I'm never going to reach that. They've got better gear, they've got more experience, they've got better networking, and I'd never reach that. But it's nice to know that like I'm not the only one in this boat. So I wanted to separate imposter syndrome because everyone, when you think of imposter syndrome, and especially when you research it, I suppose in the 1978 research, it affected high achieving women. But in general, when you do Google it, it does say it's always like successful people that feel it, which is fair enough. But like, it's not always like successful people. Like, I'm not successful at all. I feel it all the time. But it's also career driven. But I definitely think imposter syndrome spans out a lot further than just your career, such as like identity. So I did want to separate it into two little categories, but first I wanted to tell you my imposter syndrome of me trying to get into the media industry or photography or all that jazz. So first of all, I wanted to start like a photography little side hustle, freelance business on the side, and it's been something that I've been working on since I was probably 12. And the most important thing that I could think of about my whole shtick was thinking of a good name. And for years, I couldn't think of like a catchy little name for like my photography or videography, whatever I was gonna do. And it was always, and this is the same for everyone. And I'm not judging anyone that do this, but there's a lot of photographers that out there that would be like, their name, Billy Atkinson Photography, and like it's all, everyone's the same. And I just thought, I don't want to say it's boring, I don't want to diss anyone, but it's like there's no individuality. Everyone was going down the same route, kind of. And so like I jumped from Billy Atkinson Photography, Billie A Photography, BA Photography, and just like I think it's like a self-hatred thing, but like the thought of my name being in my business name, it really didn't settle with me. I thought no one's gonna buy off, no one's gonna purchase my services when it's my name. That's disgusting. Fucking, I hate myself. And I thought, what if I just drop the Billy and use Atkinson? Well, wouldn't you know that there's already an Atkinson Co. photography company? But it's like, you know, it's too close. I don't want to be the same as someone. I want to be completely individual. So I was thinking, what name can I come up with that's totally different and something that's a bit relevant to my name but very subtle? So for ages, I remember I was really into the song Delirium Tremens by Christy Moore. I was always playing that song, bopping away to it, and I really loved the word delirium. I just thought delirium sounds cool, and so I had the word delirium. I thought it's very, I don't know. It's just, it's nothing. What? This sounds so stupid. What's delirium? Like it makes no sense. So I thought, what else could I merge with the word delirium? I was thinking Billy's delirium because, this is my, edgy, delirious way I take photographs. This is my delirious art. This is my delirium. And I thought, Billy, it's still too, I don't know, on the nose that it's me. It's still my name there. And I did not like that. Atkinson's delirium. I was thinking, no, it's such a fucking mouthful. And I just landed with Sun's delirium. And I just thought, that sounds cool. It rolls off the tongue a wee bit. It's the last like 3 letters, or yeah, 4 letters, Sons, of like Atkinson. So it's like Billy Atkinson's delirium, but it's still very subtle that you wouldn't know it's like Billy Atkinson. It's like something totally different. And I thought it's really cool to have Atkinson kind of a part of the name, because it's like, it's kind of like a homage to like me and my brothers. So yeah, Sun's Delirium has been my name, and a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people came up to me being like, it makes no sense. It's nothing to do with photography. It's nothing to do with videography. And yeah, I have nothing really to say to that other than fuck you, and I can do whatever the fuck I want. It's like I didn't want to be strict on like, say Billy Atkinson Photography, because like again, I am into videography as well. And I really didn't know what I wanted to do when I was older. So I was like, I'm going to leave it kind of open. But yeah, a lot of people said it makes no sense. Like, where did you come up with that name? And you know what? I bet the fucker that said the word Google got laughed at, just to compare myself to him or her. I don't know who did it. It was just a way to separate myself from my art, because like I really, it does fall down to like just really hating yourself, and I really don't like to say that to the camera because I don't want to promote that. I'd never want like people watching this being like, oh, I should hate myself too. But like that was like a coping way to like feel happy. That was the only way I was proud of like what I was doing when it was like, Sun's Delirium. I don't know. It was just like that was my cool alter ego. Like that is my Hannah Montana. So even early stages I did feel like imposter syndrome, like I shouldn't name it after myself. Give myself a brand new name, and that is my business, like creative name. And yeah, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but like I feel comfortable doing it, and I do encourage other people to do it. I do love when I hear like, people do have little cool nicknames for their photography accounts. Like it's very niche, and like I really highly promote it. But like if you want to have, you're proud of your name and you want your name photography, go for it. But like do not be afraid to bend the rules. Like there is no boundaries set. Like, people like to make up these rules like that name makes no sense. Yeah, what do you do? Like, fuck off. Just maybe ask me what I do, or maybe, I don't know, go on my fucking Instagram and see my photography. But yeah, it's just, that has to be my early stages of imposter syndrome. So when I was in college, I was wrapping up my end of year exhibition. You know, I was filming a little documentary, but I knew I was going to be graduating. So I was trying my hardest just to get experience out there. And it was so hard to do. Like, anytime you ask people, and I'm asking to do it for free, and they just would ignore me or just like say, no, I'm okay, which is like fair enough, but like, I'm gonna hold a grudge forever. But one time, when I was still filming my documentary, I needed a musician to interview for a segment, and there was a drummer I knew from Enniskillen that was in a upcoming band based in Belfast. And I asked him, hey, would you be interested in being in a documentary with me? And it's just a mental health documentary talking about how music helps with mental health and so on. He said, yeah, that's dead on, I'm good for it. And then he just nonchalantly sent me a message. Me and the band are playing a gig at Ulster Hall in Belfast, supporting Kneecap. Would you take photos of us? And I was just like, of course I fucking will. Not once have I ever done a gig, like not even in a pub. Well, I don't think I have. Like, that was my first time doing a concert photography at the Ulster Hall in Belfast, and it was for a band that were supporting Kneecap. Like, I was going to be in the same room as Kneecap. I thought I'm not worthy to be there at all, but I was just like, fuck yeah, I'm totally gonna do that, even though I've had no experience. Probably throwing myself in the deep end, like something so like big like that would be good for me. Maybe not. But yeah, it was a bit of a odd experience meeting Kneecap for the first time. Now, I don't mean to say this. I don't want like Kneecap fans to come after me because I'm not hating on them at all. It was just a really, really odd experience. And maybe they're just having like a stressful night, and they just, I was the last person they wanted in front of them or something. But yeah, anyway, when I got to Belfast, I got to meet the band that I was there to photograph. Such lovely boys. They took such good care of me. They were like feeding me, giving me pints. They were picking up stuff to bring into the Ulster Hall, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to give us a hand?" I was like, "Yes, please. I want to help you." So I picked up a box and was walking in with them, and I could hear, like, you know, music playing on inside, and it was Kneecap, you know, like doing a sound check or whatever. And I was walking in with the band, so chuffed that I'm like in this atmosphere. I couldn't believe it. And I put the box down, and I was like just taking it in, being like, oh my god, like I'm in such a, like a lucky position. And Kneecap were right there on the band, singing away or rapping away, and the band that I'm with are right next to me, and they're kind of just chatting among themselves. And Mo Cara notices the band that they're here now, so he jumps off the stage and he walks towards the band, and like we're stood in like a semicircle. I'm at the end of the semicircle, so he's going around everyone like, "Oh my lang, what's crack?" and hugging them all. And he was going down the line, and then it was me. I was the last one. He was like, "Well, what's your crack?" Oh yeah. He looked at me and he just stared at me, and I'm just sitting there like, hello, like I'm so excited to be there, like an absolute fucking geek, and he's just like, just dead ass staring at me. And it felt like minutes. It probably wasn't. It was probably like seconds, but it was a long fucking time, and it was so uncomfortable. And after a while, he was like staring, and he looks back at the boys, and he's chatting away at them, and I'm just like, the fuck what was that? What did I do wrong? Like, where? But like, he didn't say anything. He just like really coldly stared at me. But if eyes could talk, it was like, who the fuck are you? What are you doing here? You fucking rat looking bitch. He didn't say that, but like, if eyes could talk, that's what he was screaming at me. So I picked up like the weird atmosphere, and I kind of walked away from, like, because he was talking to the lads, and I was like, I'm not, like, he does not want me around that. I walked away. And so this next bit this next bit could kind of be my fault. I can kind of understand it probably freaked Mowgli Bap out, but like, let me get to it. So when I was taking photos at this concert, I had two lenses. I had a zoom lens. It was hardly a zoom lens. I think it went up to like 70 mil. It was like fuck all. And I had a prime lens. Again, I think it was like a 30 mil, but like it doesn't zoom in or out, but it does have really good, like, it captures really good high quality images. So I was sitting there with like two different lenses. I've never shot at a concert before. and I was just testing out, where am I going to be standing? Where am I allowed to stand? And so I kind of got close to the, what do you call it, the barrier, kind of close to the stage, but like not that close. I didn't even know if I was allowed to be on stage. So I was swapping these lenses in and out, and just like I was looking, it's so hard to explain. Like I was looking through the camera, but I wasn't looking at anything specific. Like I was just looking at the perception, and then I swapped the lens, put another lens on, checked it again, looking through it, and then changing settings. And bear in mind, while I'm like checking the camera, Mowgli Bap's still on stage, like rapping away. It's been ages since we made the front pages, and then it just stops. Like he just stops rapping, and I'm still looking through my camera. I'm like, oh, what's happened? And I look up, and he's on stage. He's like lowered his microphone. He's just staring at me. To be fair, it probably did look like I was taking pictures of him, but like I really wasn't. Like I think I was just like generally looking, I was more fixated on the camera settings than I was taking pictures of him, because I know it's like disrespectful. To be fair, I did get a Snapchat of them on my phone, but not once did I take a picture of them on my camera, because it's like, first of all, it's fucking obvious when you have a fucking camera up, someone's gonna know you're taking a picture of them, which I did do make obvious, but I didn't take a picture. But I did take a Snapchat on my phone. Like, I'm only fucking human. But anyway, yeah. So Mokara hit me. Mowgli Bap hit me. And I felt like such shit. Like, I'm doing something wrong. Like, Mokara just gave me evils. And Mowgli Bap is giving me evils, which is, to be fair, like, probably thought I was taking pictures of him. I shouldn't be here. I'm fucking up. And I just walked into the place. And I had this woman, and she was all like dressed up so fucking laddie da fancy, makeup on, and she marched straight towards me. Who are you and who are you with? And I'm like holding my camera, being like, oh, I'm a photographer, I'm taking pictures with that band over there. She was, you're not allowed to take any pictures with Kneecap, only that band. And I was just like, fucking hell. When people tell you to do something when you're already gonna do it, it really fucking pisses me off. Like, I knew not to take pictures of Kneecap. I'm gonna take pictures of them now, piss you off, and take Snapchats of them. Shut up. And it really put me down, because it's just like, fuck, I don't know if I could work in this industry, because there is always, I suppose you'll see a bollocks anywhere, but when it comes to like the film industry or music industry, you can just imagine how much worse these people are. Like, they're just like out there to get you, and yeah, fuck that. If you don't please them, there's a fear of like them blacklisting you. So I was a bit scared. It was like, I don't know who this woman was, if she like worked for Kneecap or worked for Ulster Hall, but I was like, she probably has the power to like just put me out, and that's me fucked for the rest of the evening. So yeah, that was probably my first like, in that kind of atmosphere, and I've never been in that atmosphere before, and I fucked it up totally. Again, I'm not giving Kneecap shit. Please do not attack me. Like, they're probably lovely lads. Please don't Kneecap me. It just made me feel like such a loser. Like, I'm a nobody. I shouldn't be here. But that was so shit just at the start. But see, once like, you know, the band I was with was on stage, and I was taking pictures, I was like fucking loving life. I was on cloud nine. I totally forgot that like I got fucking side-eyed by Mokara. Another kind of photography imposter syndrome moment I had, which is like, to be fair, I probably was like an imposter in some way. But Princess Anne came to Enniskillen once. She was actually visiting or planting a tree at the college, and I was asked to take photos. And it's so funny because my teacher was like, he knows not to ask Billie. Like, he knew not to ask me. But like, he asked so many people and they're letting him down, and I was his last resort. And I was just like, yeah, I'll take pictures of the fucking princess. It'll look good in my CV. And yeah, it was a good day. It was really cool. I got to speak to this guy. He was in like a proper suit, and he had one of those earpieces. And I went up to him. I was like, "Are you MI5?" He was, no, no, no. I was like, you have to say that. Like, it was really cool meeting these like I don't know, fucking James Bond people. Yeah, I remember I was like doing a video of her kind of just like walking about not the college. I was at the workhouse. She was visiting the workhouse, and I always get scared. Like, what are my limits as a photographer? Like, I don't want to be that typical paparazzi. I want to respect people's space. So, like, I was kind of like, giving space, being a bit distant. And I noticed there was another photographer there. She was pregnant. She's getting there. She was about to fart that baby out any moment. And like, she was dipping, dodging, and diving, getting the right angles. Like she was getting up to the fucking princess and being like, macro shot. And like I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, I'm gonna copy her. I'm just gonna follow her. So that's what I was doing. I was like, squeezing past all these like security guys, being like, I'm a photographer, I need to get past for a photo. And I remember I walked not past the princess, but like, kind of past a group of people to get in front of her so I can get like a shot of her entering the room. And she entered the room and she looked at me. And again, I've never seen eyes be like, peasant, peasant. But yeah, she didn't say anything either. So I don't want Princess Anne fans coming after me. Fucking hell, that's such a mad group of people. Kneecap fans and the royal fans. Ugh, don't make it cancelled already. So my next poll question was, the imposter phenomenon can affect identities as well as careers. Where has it affected you the most? Job was 40%, identity was 13%, and both was 47%. So overall, it was like everyone gets affected by all corners of life, especially identity. So just to get into more specifics, because like I'm about to get into specifics, and I just wanted to find out if there's other people that felt the same. So my next poll question was, have you ever felt like an imposter in the LGBTQ plus community? And 85% said yes and 15% said no. And I was really fucking shocked at those numbers, because I really thought people would like, take maybe thick to that, like, oh, you should be out and proud, and like, like people are out and proud, but like it's still a bit like a scary experience, because like especially for baby gays like myself, it's such like a daunting experience to meet these group of people that in my small town wouldn't really get the chances to meet. Now I can't say for like all the labels in the LGBT plus community. But I do feel like I said, for like baby gays, new people coming into it. But like I do feel, being bi, it has such like a reputation of being like, oh, you're not really, there's a fear of you like leaving a woman for a guy, or something like that. Because it's something that I've felt, definitely I'm an imposter in, because there's a lack of a community in a skill in itself, or like any small town. As in being bisexual, I do feel like there's like an imposter syndrome on both sides of that fence. So like, being straight, I feel like an imposter, or I did feel like an imposter like my entire, up until I can't remember when I like officially came out, but like, say 24, especially when you have exes. Like I've had exes where like, I've like told them that I'm bi, and they're just like, You're gay, I don't understand," or like, "Oh, you're not bi." They really like kind of manipulate you into being like, "No, you just like boys, specifically you just like me, don't leave me." There is such like a pressure, or I do feel like there is a pressure out there, like, when you come out, jump into the scene, start talking to people, start dating people. And like it is just very daunting. And like especially with the like fucking bullshit that I've been through, it's so hard to like, be vulnerable and open up to someone again. So like jumping into like say a relationship with a woman will be fucking scary. I will like admit to that. But like, it's something that I'll be down for. It'd be like exciting, something new. But then I do get the fear, like what if I get with someone that's like, like totally lesbian, they don't feel comfortable with me being bi, or just like anyone that would be thinking, oh, she doesn't know where her head's at, or like especially again with me dating someone, I'm not in the rush to do it. I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna be patient. Like don't want to be like I'm high standard. Well, I definitely am. I do have higher standards with the bullshit that I've dealt with before, but yeah, I'm just gonna take my time and wait for like that special person. I don't feel comfortable. Like I'm not a person to go out in the pool, which I'm like always encouraged to do. If you spoke to me for more than 10 minutes, you realize like that is not a thing for me to do. And like there's like one thing that really like bothered me just before I did come out, because I thought like this is how like uneducated I was with this entire thing. Like I thought the rules were that you had to be with someone, like you had to be with like the same sex, like in a relationship with someone same sex, to be like I'm gay or I'm bi. Like I thought you had to, actually prove it to say it. So like for years, that's why I didn't, well, I can't be bi because I've never been with a woman before. Like I thought those were the rules, until I got older and realized no, those aren't the rules at all. Yeah. Anyway, bi and proud, and yeah, fuck anyone that says otherwise. I'm taking shit at my own pace as I want to. talking to whoever I want to in my own time, and I think everyone else should live by that rule. Don't think that you're like an imposter in any little, like, you know, if you're trans, gay, bi, or whatever. Like, you fit in.
I hope you enjoy a few pints with the lads tonight.
So my next poll for like identity was like, this was another scary one that I was posting because I didn't want people to take the wrong idea. But it was, is there an imposter phenomenon for being Irish but from Northern Ireland? And like, when I posted this on my story, I kept like checking it to see like what results, like what people picked, and like loads of people were looking at it, but no one was voting. And I was like, "Fuck! Did I like offend people? I didn't mean. I was generally just asking a question. Like, I wasn't really trying to make a statement or whatever." And then I left it maybe like an hour, looked back, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I was so blown away with the response. But 90% of people said yes, and only 10% said no. And the only reason I say this is because I don't know. I think I don't know. I feel like Northern Ireland or the north of Ireland, however you take it, is kind of stuck in this like shitty purgatory. Like, England doesn't want anything to do with us. Down south don't want anything to do with us. When like I remember I'd be speaking to people down south and they'd be like, "Oh, you're from Northern Ireland. You're not Irish. You're British." Yeah, it's really frustrating because when people say that, it's like the lack of knowledge of like Irish history that they know is so frustrating because it's pure ignorance. They don't care to know. So when people call me like, "Oh, you're not Irish, you're British," I'm like, "No, fucker. If you had any fucking book and or even look up the Good Friday Agreement, you'd see anyone that was born in Northern Ireland can identify either as Irish or British. Like, that is the whole fucking shtick of this place." So this is something that I couldn't really find that much like research into because I did want to see if there's any like studies into that because it is such a weird dynamic. Like, you're from the island of Ireland, but it's Northern Ireland that's like owned by the United Kingdom, but it's not British, but you can identify as British. Like, it's so fucked up. It's so complicated. The next best thing was Reddit, and I've just lost the post right now. Fucking hell. This person, Mattis Mick, Matismc, said, born in early 70s in Derry, lived through the troubles in Glenfada Park, went to school in Cregan. Thoughts on how Catholic people perceive themselves living in Derry. It's something I've always felt divided about. I definitely consider myself Irish. At the same time, I feel more Northern Irish. I'm hoping this would be a thought other people would consider and would share their views. No hate, please. I would really like to hear similar opinions. Primary Cancel 3021 said, for me, it's complicated and hard to convey in words. It's subtle but still glaring at the same time if you look properly. I'm born and bred in Derry and I'm an Irishman. However, I venture across the border, I still can't shake the feeling of being somewhat a tourist. It should feel like home, and it does in a way, but it's almost there's an element of imposter syndrome. That's X-Files. Because I'm talking about imposter syndrome right now. I'm there, I consider myself Irish, but do the locals, or do they consider me a Nordy tourist? Obviously, in practice, it's minuscule, but I feel there is still very much a psychological divide north and south. Call me Sir, goddammit, said, if anyone from this island thinks of you as less Irish, fuck them. It's an ignorant and ultimately partitionist mindset. We should be proud to be part of the island we are from, the less they're reliant on being accepted by others in that sense. There can be no gatekeeping of Irishness. People from our part of the island have their own unique history, which is rich and as interesting as anywhere. I should own it and be proud of it. So it's definitely not just my issue, and it's definitely like from Instagram and Reddit, I could see that a lot of people do think this way as well. And without dwelling on the past too much, there's a way to improve this. And I suppose to go back to Kneecap, like they've definitely progressed, with the Irish language. Like they're making big moves for the Irish community and pushing the Irish language out there. But yeah, Northern Ireland's gone the shitter at the moment. The politics here, they just don't care for like the well-being, the cost of living crisis. They have no care for the quality of life of their own people of the north of Ireland. And there's so many parties that are striving for like the wrong thing. Like, they're stuck in the past and they're not making anything better for our future. But the way things are going, isn't the quality of like, the residents, the people of Ireland or Northern Ireland's like health a lot more important? So without dwelling on the past, on doing stupid little things like, I don't know, Arlene Foster making certain catchphrases or sentences illegal to say. It's fucking ridiculous. It's just like, just move on. You're in power to do good for our future, not dwell on the fucking past. How's about you do better in schools? How's about you reinforce like better teaching techniques so your students don't get fucking imposter syndrome? How's about you introduce better LGBTQ plus services or like little hangout spots for local towns? Like there's so much better stuff you could do than like doing something as stupid as saying, oh, you can't say this word anymore, or you can't say this sentence anymore. Like, fucking seriously.
Nigel, I mean, I know that you said sorry. I know you get 87 quid. It's entirely within your rights to do that.
So identity-wise, it spreads out. Imposter syndrome can spread out to all corners of like your identity, for being like your nationality, being Irish, you know, your religion, your sex, your sexual orientation. Like I was just gonna say, like trans people, I can't believe like the absolute imposter syndrome that they go through. It's something I didn't really want to leave out because it's definitely up there with like a lot of trans people. I can guess that they suffer. And again, I'm just very uneducated and I shouldn't really be talking about this, but I didn't want to leave it out, but I also didn't want to talk too much about it. But to kind of like relate to that in a sense, like being a woman, fuck, I really felt like imposter syndrome just being a woman. Like I remember growing up, I was such a tomboy. I had family being like, no, you're just a boy. And in my head, I was a boy. Like I was so convinced like I was a boy. I just thought boys have cooler clothes, they have cooler toys. They just like were, I don't know, they just get on better with life. And I just thought life is easier if I was a boy. Probably wasn't until like, you know, I hit puberty that I was just like, oh, you know, becoming a woman. I do feel like comfortable being a woman, but I'm definitely not like your bog standard, like, you know, makeup and tits and teeth. I'm definitely like your basic standard tomboy. Like, I just can't do girly things. I can't do makeup. If I'm doing my eyeliner, I'm poking myself in the eye. I can't do my nails. I can't stay inside the line when I paint them. I'm just like, I can't do my hair. For years, I couldn't wear a skirt. I thought I was so physically repulsed. Me wearing a skirt was so disgusting. I just couldn't do it. I thought that the thought of me like looking like a girl was disgusting and it just didn't look right. So for like ages in my teens, it took me a while to kind of like fit myself into clothes that like, you know, I felt comfortable in. Wearing skirts and wearing dresses, I really need to be like, I'm so picky on. Like when I go clothes shopping, I'm so picky. If I see like a horror movie t-shirt, I'm just like, yeah, I'll wear that. But when it comes to like really girly clothes, really like professional clothes, I feel very like I have to be very peculiar on what I'm wearing. So yeah, as a woman, I definitely had imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon, and I think I'm not like the only girl that experienced that. I think there's like a lot of guys out there too that would experience that. You know, like they're comfortable being a guy, but they're not that masculine. There's a lot of girls out there that like would be a lot more masculine than feminine, and I think that's all right. You know, like it took me a while to like fit into my skin, and I'm still like, you know, struggling, but I'm just like, you know, I'm not trying to please anyone. I'm going down this road my own little pace. I don't need people telling me you should do this, you should do that, you're not doing it right, and all this bullshit. Like, don't fucking listen to it. So yeah, I'm like a woman, but I'm not that very good at being a woman, and I think that's okay. I think that's the point I'm trying to make. Those are all my imposter phenomenons. Again, like there's probably a lot more things out there that I feel like I don't belong in. I'm not good enough. I feel like a fraud. But yeah, I just thought the more I thought about imposter syndrome, I was like, it attacks me at all angles. It really does. Like no matter what you do, like you could be making tea, and I'm like, I'm making this tea so bad, lad. Like this is such a, it's gonna be a pish tea. Uh, There's like little moments like that that would attack me. I just thought it would be cool when you have like, you know, career, you know, your sexual orientation, your nationality, like how all these could like you feel like an imposter, and it kind of screams like, gosh, I am like the minority of minorities. A wee bit like feel sorry for me.
Help me, I'm poor.
No.
Now, just to close off the episode, I thought if there's any advice I can give you to help, cope with your imposter syndrome or imposter phenomenon experiences, whether it be career or identity or anything, the best thing I could research is like talk to someone. Like, it's mad. Like, if you talk to someone about it, tell them the way that you're feeling, 90% they're going to be like, I feel the exact same way. And you just feel less alone. And then you could like almost work together and like up each other. So definitely just talk to people. Don't let it bog you down at all. But last thoughts. Are you actually an imposter? So if you're like a singer or an actor or I don't know, a podcaster, I almost want to say that you're not an imposter. Like, you definitely aren't an imposter. Like, just go for it. But almost like you probably are an imposter. And I hate to say that, like, to be like, no, you should be like segregated. You need to be outcasted. Like, you obviously don't belong there. But like, does anyone belong anywhere? I think like the job itself, yeah, you fucking belong there. But like the people that also work there probably don't, and they're making it in a toxic environment for you. When it comes to sexual orientation, spreading positiveness, your nationality, and like being in the queer community, like who gives a fuck? Like, you dating anyone, like you take that shit at your own pace. Don't let anyone be like, oh, I need to see you kiss a girl to believe it, or need to know that you've slept with the same sex to believe it. It's just like, fuck them. So yeah, that's the way I like to think of it. Like, anytime, like especially when I was at the Ulster Hall Kneecap gig, like I couldn't help but think, I don't belong here. Like, I'm not cool enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm just like, yeah, I'm a useless little worm. I shouldn't be there. But like, I didn't let that stop me. I wasn't gonna be like, right, I'm deuces. I'm gonna go home now. I'm gonna go back to my hotel. I was just like, fuck that. I'm gonna do it. Like, fuck yous all. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm probably gonna do a bad job, but I'm gonna do it. Like, if whatever project you're doing, like you feel imposter syndrome, don't fucking give up. Don't ever give up. Just keep going. You can never fail if you keep trying. That is my go-to. Like, I've made a lot of projects, and like I've suffered a lot more failures than I have success, and that's just the way things goes. But that's my fault. I kind of like expect the worst. So if the worst happens, it's not that bad. And if something really good happens, it's like a little surprise. I actually really enjoyed that. So if you're absolutely anywhere and you do feel imposter syndrome, don't let that bog you down. Be like, yeah, I don't belong here, but am I fucking leaving? No, this is my fucking space. I belong here just as much as any of these cunts belong here, and I'm gonna try my best because the best is all I can do. Yeah, I don't know if this episode was any way helpful to anyone. I don't know. It's just something that has been bogging me down, especially with me doing the podcast all on my own. As much as it is like so unsufferable, I do love it. I love the experience, and I'm learning so much of it. I'm meeting such great people, and that's what it is. Like, all these, there's so many scary experiences people like avoid because they feel like an imposter, but like, fuck it, just like fake it till you make it. That's what I'm doing. Like, honestly, and you know what? That's what everyone else is doing. Like, everyone else just doesn't have a clue, and they're acting like they do, and you just need to do the same. But yeah, that's kind of like all I had to really say about that. Please subscribe. Please follow. Catch us on YouTube, Spotify. The podcast is available on all platforms. So check out the LTBQ or Little Town Big Queeries podcast. Please follow us on all our socials, TikTok, Instagram. Yeah, I think that's really it. Please shoot us a DM. If you have any funny stories to tell us, you can email us at littletownbigqueries@gmail.com, or you could, there's a Google Forms that you can submit anonymous stories to us on our Instagram. Just go under our link tree. But yeah, please engage, please like. Yeah, love yous loads, and yeah, make sure to tune in for next week, or not next week, but like in 2 weeks' time when the next episode drops. I just filmed it yesterday, and yeah, no, it was buzzing. It's I'm not gonna tell you who it is. It's a fucking secret, okay? She's a lesbian artist from Belfast. She's an alternative rock singer. She's got some fucking bangers. That was a good episode. There's so much laughing, and yeah, if you're into like the music scene, either in Belfast, we do talk about how women are treated in the music industry and how different it is for men. And yeah, so it's a really good, enlightened episode. I really enjoyed it, and I only embarrassed myself once.